Hello, my name is Ron. Welcome to my channel, Return to Sender, about Canada Post. Today's video is called Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. I'm going to be reading from a prepared statement to respect your valuable time. One of the most rewarding aspects of my job as a letter carrier are lifelong friendships made with some peers and customers. During the winter months, after my shift was completed, I received so much pleasure from helping seniors shovel their driveway and the walk in front of their homes. These customers reminded me that there was still some good left in the world. I'm a very humble and empathetic person, so much that a former coworker from a call center where I worked pulled me aside one day and said, "Ron, I used to be afraid of black men before I met you." I shared that because even though I was harassed daily by supervisors, I treated everyone respectfully and gave every Canada Post staff I met at work for the first time a clean slate. During the 10th year of my employment, I met a supervisor who I thought was very different from the others. He was a junior ranking staff, so all the dirty work was still being completed by other offenders. This supervisor and I had very friendly banter like childhood friends. I was so comfortable with this man that I offered him insight to help him advance professionally and help make Canada Post more profitable. I'll expand on that at the end. And also a less toxic workplace for women as well as same-sex couples and staff without light skin. If only I had a camera. Most supervisors turned a blind eye and deaf ears to pushing and cursing matches between Caucasian male carriers. I warned him to be very careful around a light-skinned carrier who made threats to anyone when he was having a bad day. His remarks qualified as verbal assault. I told the friendly supervisor that the driver's outbursts were quite concerning because about 3 to 5 years ago, while looking for a pen, I saw what looked like a weapon inside a letter carrier's case. I told him I have no idea if it was a real gun because I shut the drawer immediately and got a pen from a clerk. I had no idea who owned the route because I arrived later from another station and was assigned elsewhere the following day. Our chat continued peacefully, and after that I left the station, completed my daily delivery. I returned to the station as usual to process kill mail, sort flyers for the next day, and restock supplies exhausted on delivery. There was zero indication that anything was wrong from supervisors. Almost all my workday started around 5 a.m. The supervisor and I spoke close to 9 a.m. in the morning. Who in their right mind would allow anyone who made a threat to deliver mail to customers and then return to the postal station for about 10 to 15 minutes and be visible to several peers and supervisors? Roughly 6 to 8 hours passed before someone from Canada Post made a false testimony to the police that I made a threat. Does that make sense to anyone? I told the supervisor about a depot I worked at over 10 kilometers away over 5 years ago. It was clear that this supervisor was a wolf in sheep's clothing. He befriended me to find a reason to contribute to the relentless abuse I endured at Canada Post. 2 police officers came to my place. Always full of life's courtesy, I invited them inside while I was busy cooking supper for my family. The officers left satisfied that I was not guilty of any threat. This was very unusual. This was the very first time in my life that a police officer was not guilty of historic racism. In the mind of a biased Toronto police officer, men like me lack credibility. I am still being racially profiled. A police officer pulled me over for no reason while I was driving a used car I owned for about 24 hours. He barked that I should not smoke weed before driving. I do not smoke, or vape or drink and drive. The officer refused to let me explain that I just bought the car and any odor was from the previous owner or passengers. While I'm receiving hostile service and I received no feedback that the guilty party was charged with the crime by the Toronto Police Services Board. I was suspended without pay for 2 weeks, which is still outstanding. However, while I was away, a peer created a petition defending my innocence, but I'm still waiting for unpaid wages. I'm about to explain the wall behind you. And excuse my coughing fit, my throat's a little dry. One of the documents you're about to see, it's about mail being left behind by a supervisor. This very innocent looking paper to my right. Here's my example of what my prototype of what a letter-tainer looks like. Essentially, it holds about 350 pieces of mail, typically called short and long. And in cases where the mail is actually are actually short, the clerks actually double the mail. So there's one full row at the very bottom, and then they'll actually start another row on top. And just imagine yourself that you're processing 11 of these daily, and they're all full with approximately 350 pieces of mail, and you're not being paid properly. Again, forgive my cough, my throat's just dry. Focusing on the left, while I was away, up here, there's actually 2 pages. Voluntarily created a petition explaining to Canada Post and whomever wanted to view this that I was not a violent person, and I've threatened no one at Canada Post. I shared this and many other violations of my rights with the CIRB. This is their stamp that they actually received something I hand-delivered, and CapW simply said, we're working on it, and it's been approximately 13 to 14 years since they're working on that incident. The letter-tainer that I showed you explains this document to my right. It looks quite innocuous that there's just one tray. It took me 45 minutes to sort the mail because mail, sometimes first-class mail, even advertising mail, is quite thin. Examples are census cards and or voter registration cards. These are so thin, literally you could find anywhere from 500 or more in a single letter-tainer case. One of the reasons why many drivers, I'm sure there are others who are guilty of this, do not actually make a proper delivery is we're given a time value of 2 minutes for each item that are considered personal contact items. So properly done, you knock on the door, you have 2 minutes to secure a signature, or if there's no signature, you actually would affix a barcode letting the person know where to go and pick up their mail. In my case, I had 2 different postal stations where my customers would attend to. I'm possibly speaking a little too quickly. That's because my throat is so dry I need to get a drink. And just wrapping it up, thank you all so much for your very valuable time. I'm going to wrap things up in the 9th video, and I really thank everyone for their ongoing consideration. Thanks for watching.